Hello, everybody. Welcome to BVX. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come one, come all. Hello, Boomer.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Here we are,
Yeah.
a little wiser and much, much older.
Mm-hmm. Except for
So how
that
you doing?
20-year-old. 20-year-old ain't getting much older. We're the ones getting older.
Well, here's one 20-year-old that's going to get much, much older in prison.
Real fast.
Yeah. So it appears that the Kirk Assassin
Yeah.
has been caught and indicted and arraigned.
Alleged assassin. Alleged assassin.
Alleged assassin.
Yeah. We don't know
Everybody's
yet.
innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Okay. Check this out.
Council. Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed
Wow.
by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
This is just a beginning. This is just a very, very beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's not. This guy.
Mm-hmm.
This guy will be 47 years old by the time they put him in front of the firing range.
If he gets the death penalty,
Look, you could get a jury with soft simp,
mm-hmm.
and they just don't want to put him to death. They just can't live with themselves. You could get a technicality, an appeal. There's so many multitude of factors that could save this guy's life.
You get a liberal judge in a liberal county, because I'm sure there are liberal counties even in Utah. You get him in a liberal judge in a liberal county with a liberal jury. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows what'll happen? You and I have seen these guys before, and they stick around for decades, partying up on death row, and waiting for their appeals. This guy ain't going nowhere. He's going to be having the time of his life, doing all the drugs he wants. He's already a homosexual, so he's going to be having all the gay sex he wants.
Well, if they're going after him regarding the death penalty, he's going to be in isolation. He's going to be in a concrete box for 23 hours a day. When it's outside yard time, I'm just telling you what it's going to be. When he gets his hour a day to be outside, they're going to lead him out. They're going to put him in a little cage smaller than his cell. They're going to be brick walls all around him.
Yeah.
And if he's lucky, he can look straight up through the chain link and maybe see the sky. If he's lucky.
Arthur, these guys get all the drugs in the prison they want. They get cell phones. They smuggle in cell phones. He's going to be having a grand old time.
Well, I don't know. We'll see about that. I mean, he's going to have a lot of time on his hands. That's for sure.
He might even get married.
Oh, that's a given. Look at Richard Ramirez, a Night Stalker.
Yeah.
He had a wife.
The Melendez brothers.
Menendez. They had Ted Bundy had a flock of groupies.
He had a baby in prison.
Yeah. And so apparently this kid wasn't very bright, because he left his rifle behind.
Mm-hmm.
He left a screwdriver with DNA on the roof.
Yeah.
And then he decided he was going to text message his lover.
Yeah.
Get a load of this, Boomer.
Long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone.
Yeah, and that old dude turned out to be a violator of children or something like that.
Oh yeah, Boomer. They caught this guy. And they're like, "Well, what's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I was just, trying to obstruct justice while this kid got away, or this guy got away." So then they go, "Oh, great. Okay, well, we're going to give you for obstruction of justice." Turns out they look at his cell phone and should I say allegedly?
I guess. Yeah, allegedly he's got stuff on his phone that he shouldn't have. There's all kinds of, these people, celebrities attract all kinds of nuts,
Yeah, so apparently, allegedly, they found a bunch of child porn on his phone. These guys, man, they're not too bright. They're not too bright. Now, what gets me is, so you have the left and you have the right. And the left is screaming at the top of their lungs, this guy was a right winger.
When aren't they screaming at the top of their lungs?
Yeah, so the left is saying, no, there's no way this guy was from the left. This guy was a right winger. He had conservative parents. Meanwhile, we have the text messages that we have bullet casings that he inscribed left-wing, ideology on.
Yeah.
And so now that we're getting all these evidence, or all this evidence, I'm sorry, you got the left wing and they're going, well, Jesus, what are we going to do about this? It's getting kind of obvious. So what do? They try to paint a narrative that it's a big conspiracy theory. Have you seen this woman, man? This is like your typical deranged leftist Democrat woman. Get a load of this.
I'm not accepting this shit as facts. And here's another tweet of some libs.
She's just not accepting it. She doesn't want to accept it because it's inconvenient for her.
What
do you think, Boomer? Would you date her?
Well, we had the schizophrenics at the facilities because all the mental hospitals had been shut down, so they sent them to the jail, and they were medicated. And there would always come a time, without dropping a dime, you could set your watch to it. I'm not crazy. I don't need to be taking this medication. I'm perfectly normal. You were just talking to a guy that's not there 5 minutes ago, but now that you're on medicine and you're lucid, they think they're sane. They think they're normal. They're not crazy. We are. That's what this reminds me of the people that go off their meds and say, I'm not crazy, you are.
Yeah.
Why don't you still get medication?
Yeah, this woman is a perfect example of that.
Libs analyzing, or leftists analyzing this. I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have a really hard time believing in a short text exchange. The alleged shooter makes his confession, confirms location of the weapon, confirms the type of the weapon, confirms it was wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy, George Zinn. That's what I think too. He exonerates that guy, admits to the bullet engraved.
George Zinn, by the way, is the old guy with the.
He's obviously never dealt with. Yeah, he was the old guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's obviously never dealt with criminals. They are the stupidest, dumbest. These are not people with 250 IQ. These are haphazard. Even though he went to college,
he had committing
the perfect crime takes skill, which he did not have.
No, I mean, look at the guy that shot at Trump. He supposedly had a really high IQ, smart kid. But yeah, I mean, this woman, it's just inconvenient for her.
Engraving. So he even says in this text exchange, remember when I was engraving on the bullets? Like he's covering up too many holes. This is not somebody who's on the run trying to get away with murder. Remember my dad's super MAGA. Remember when I spend all my
I could totally imagine this kid at the apartment kitchen table engraving these bullet casings while his lover does a TikTok. Yeah, I could totally imagine that.
Arthur, how many criminals filmed themselves? How many murderers filmed the crime? How many murderers do we know or have experienced, have actually written the police, the newspapers, the Zodiac killer, the BTK killer, even Ted Bundy wanted to become a lawyer on national television. These guys aren't secretive. These guys they tell you their crime up and down. Arthur, one time I was dealing with this kid. He was suicidal. I'm going to kill myself. So he's on suicide watch. We have to watch him personally, visually, 24 hours a day. So I'm assigned to him as his babysitter for the day, for that shift. And so I started asking him, how's your case going? Oh, it's falling apart, he tells me. Oh, the DA doesn't have nothing. The district attorney doesn't have shit. They're going to dismiss the case. I go, okay, well, good for you, because they don't have the evidence. They don't have the gun. I said, okay, great. Fantastic. You're going to walk. Good. So, snoozing away, doing whatever. And he goes, hey, Garcia, what? You want to know where the gun is? What do I do? I mean, this ain't no lawyer-client privilege. This isn't, So I'm like,
yeah, but
I go, yeah, I know. I want to know where the gun is. It's my grandmother's house, under the bed and under the floor. I hid it right there. What do I do with that information? Do I give it to the DA? These people are not very bright. They want to tell you.
Yeah. And so I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure if the guy gives up the information, that's legal, right? What did you do, Boomer?
With that information, I kept it to myself because there is no protocol for that. There is no, I don't know if there's any legal precedent for that. I don't know. Should I tell the district attorney? I was very confused. I didn't have a clear direction, but if I had given it to the district attorney, I'm sure it would have been admissible. I'm sure. I don't know.
So you have the left who's now just screaming conspiracy. And by the way, you do have a few on the right that are screaming conspiracy too.
Arthur.
But
this is going to turn into a whole industry of books and movies and conspiracy shows. Yeah. And you just name it.
There is one guy who I think is batshit crazy, and his name is Nick Fuentes. And I never ever would have thought that I would have gotten this kind of take from him, but it is kind of I'll let you listen.
Time to wake up, guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say, the conspiratard schizo thing, it's getting a little out of control. And that's coming from me. I mean, it's like we are truly through the looking glass. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, people blame Israel. I, who fought Charlie Kirk because he was pro-Israel, am being said to, I'm being said to be covering up that he was killed for this miraculous conversion. If Ben Shapiro was taken out next, and God forbid, would Israel be behind that too?
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know. If you ask me, this kid did it. That's my opinion.
Nick Fuentes, did he start the Proud Boys? Or was that somebody else?
No, that was Enrique. I forget his last name.
So where did this guy come from? Nick Fuentes. I've heard of him.
Streamer.
Streaming. He just came out as a streamer. I've seen him, and he's pretty
anti-Semitic
and kind of a little racist. And, he's kind of like a Jew hater, and he's entertaining. He talks a good thing, but he's kind of out there,
Generations and generations to think it's okay to abort a baby out of convenience. It doesn't surprise me that you have people cheering when Charlie Kirk is assassinated. When Charlie Kirk was killed, you got just scores and scores of people on TikTok cheering, making videos.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I like to say that I was surprised, but I really wasn't surprised. So this is a little taste of what people were doing when Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered.
Thousands of sick users also flooded social media to celebrate the passing of Turning Point USA. Disturbing reactions ranged from mocking memes to outright cheering.
Clap if you care. All right.
One user shared a video of herself dancing with a caption that read, "Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck. This is cause for celebration."
But Arthur, this is what happens when you raise generations of revolutionary warriors.
Right.
It, like we said the last time, it goes way back. Everything was revolution. Angela Davis and Jane Fonda and the Weather Army. It was a revolution. You're not saying they're social justice advocates. You're saying they're social justice warriors. What does a warrior do? He kills the enemy. How do you kill the enemy? You turn him into an object. That's what this is.
The other day, a whacked out judge dropped a few charges on Luigi Mangione. And you got something similar. Apparently, there were a crowd of supporters outside the courthouse just waiting for this. And this is what we got.
Serial. Okay. You want to see what real independent journalism funded by the people for the people?
So you got a guy who shot some guy in the back. Just took him out. The guy was a father. He had 2 sons, a wife. He shot him in the back, man.
Yes, and they're celebrating. What? Okay, this is where I have this dilemma. When do you celebrate a person's death? That sounds like a strange question.
Well, look,
I've been celebrating people's dying for decades.
Look,
is that wrong?
If you got a guy who murders children, if you have a serial killer who brutally tortures and kills his victims, he gets caught, he's prosecuted, he's convicted, and he's executed. I don't see anything wrong with cheering the death of evil. For example, remember when Ted Bundy died?
Clearly as day.
Ted Bundy was a disgusting man. The last victim, the last human being he brutally murdered was a 12-year-old little girl.
Yep. In Florida.
This is after they took out the trash.
Oh, They had parties and Ted Byrne, and they shot off fireworks, barbecues, and I was one of those guys. I was glad he was dead.
He terrorized us. He terrorized us. Remember when Richard Ramirez was out murdering people? It was horrifying.
It was horrifying.
You slept with a gun on your nightstand. You shut all your windows. You locked all your doors.
And it wasn't just him. It was the Hillside Strangler. It was the Freeway Killer. It was the Zodiac Killer. It was BTK. It was the Green River Killer. And, it was the Golden State Killer in California that was raping and killing women. Violating and killing, I can't say that on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And all those guys are dead, or most of them are dead, and I celebrated their death. Was that wrong?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Those were evil people. They were monsters.
According to the left, Charlie Kirk was an evil person. He wasn't even a person.
Yeah, but they're incorrect. That's the difference.
Are they? Let me know. Let me know. Comment. Let me know.
Yeah, let us know.
Is Charlie Kirk the same as Ted Bundy or not? I think it's a simple question.
So do I. But apparently nowadays things aren't so simple.
I mean, why would they be celebrating like that if they didn't see Charlie Kirk as a human being? You celebrate like that if you see him as an object. It's a dehumanization. It's like the Nazis turned the Jews into rats. They were vermin. They were a disease. We turned the German into Hun, the Mongol, the Japanese was a Jap rat. You dehumanize your enemy.
And I think 100% of these kids, they don't really know who or what Charlie Kirk was. They just all they know are the sound bites that they get from their side. And they take that and they run with it.
And where did they get that information? From a school. You go to school to become an accountant. You don't go to school to become a warrior. You don't go to school to become a Palestinian militant. You don't. You go to school to become an archaeologist, a social worker, a teacher.
And who else did they get that information from? When you have the left-wing media on a 24-hour basis, on a daily basis, saying Nazi, fascist, they're taking away our democracy. I mean, can you imagine living your life like that? Feeling like you're under control of Hitler?
Arthur, I remember them calling Richard Nixon a dictator, a fascist. But they didn't call Jimmy Carter that. They loved Jimmy Carter. Then they hated Ronald Reagan. He was a Nazi fascist dictator.
Right.
The Bush, both of them, they were Nazi fascist dictators. But Clinton, they loved Clinton. They even forgave his Monica Lewinsky scandal. And then came Obama. Oh, they loved Obama. And they loved Biden. But Trump is a Nazi fascist. Do you see a pattern? Do you see a pattern?
Right.
I've never heard anybody insult Obama, Biden, Clinton, Carter. He was Citizen Carter. He was a savior, a saint. He was the worst president in my lifetime, besides Biden. But nobody in the media never criticized him. Oh, Reagan was a devil.
Right.
There's a pattern.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. These kids think that they're living under a Hitlerian regime. They think that, they're one step away from being put in a concentration camp. That's what the media has forced down the throat of these generations. So, I mean, yeah, that it's, don't be surprised when one of these kids who you've been telling 24 hours a day that Trump is Hitler and that Charlie Kirk is a white ring fascist if they do something insane.
I used to deal with 12-year-old, 14-year-old gangsters who were in there for taking out somebody else.
Right.
And you would talk to these guys, these children, little children.
Right.
Why did you do it? Oh, he's my enemy. Did you know him? No. Did you go visit his house? No. But he's your enemy. Oh, yeah, he's my enemy. You're 12 years old. You're barely going through puberty, but you've got enemies? Mortal enemies, not enemies on the football field, but mortal enemies that you have got to take out because their grandfather, the gangster grandfather, the father gangster, the mother gangster told this boy since he was 5 years old, that guy across town that you've never met is your enemy. You must go and take him out.
Yeah.
And he believes it. And what does he do? He
Believes it.
takes him out.
Well, why wouldn't he believe it? Everybody in his world told him to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Boomer, I got some good news for you.
Mm.
You ready?
Mm.
You ready for the best news ever?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Like and subscribe. That's good news.
Yeah, like and subscribe. And share this with as many people as you can imagine. But so for the last, I don't know, 8 years, we have been having to stomach Jimmy Kimmel make fun of us, call us Nazis, call us racist, call us fascists. And yesterday,
guilty. I'm all of the above and more.
Yesterday, our good friend Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. He was canceled. Oh,
should we celebrate, Arthur? Is it allowed to celebrate?
Yeah. You want to do a TikTok about Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So
give me a C. Give me an A. Give me A. Canceled.
Here's Jimmy Kimmel getting. Oh my God! I'm so happy.
Disney and the ABC network are taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. This follows a
indefinitely. That means no more Jimmy Kimmel.
Controversy over comments the late night comedian made Monday night about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer and the MAGA movement and their reaction to the assassination. Let's get straight to CNN's chief media affairs correspondent Brian Stelter.
He's gone.
He's got more money than you and I can imagine. He'll be fine.
Jimmy Kimmel what did Jimmy Kimmel make? Like 70 million a year?
God knows what. This is what happened. He got canceled because he was losing money.
Yes.
End of story.
End of story.
You don't cancel your Jay Leno or your Johnny Carson, who's getting 30 to 60 million viewers a night. He was barely getting, 1 million? And you don't think they're losing money? Why? There's a reason that Jimmy Kimmel is worth X amount of money and Jay Leno is worth $300 to $400 million because he raked in all that advertising cash. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't making any money. That's why they canceled him. This is just an excuse to cancel a losing show.
It was a loser show. Here's the thing. You got a guy, and 5 days a week, he's calling half of the country losers, racists, fascists, Nazis. So half of the country is like, I'm not going to watch this crap. Mm-hmm. Why would I watch that? You're making fun of me. You're belittling me. You're making me feel stupid. Why would I want to watch that? So the ratings tank, and ABC was like, "This is our opportunity."
Yeah. This is it. That was just an excuse to use to get rid of a losing proposition.
Here's the statements that led to his departure.
This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Now, remember, I have been calling out Jimmy Kimmel.
There was a little more than that, but Jimmy Kimmel basically said, this guy, was a far right. This guy was MAGA. It's totally obvious. I mean, they just got to hold on to that narrative. And you're basically saying that Charlie Kirk's murder was anybody that voted for Trump.
Arthur, the Democratic Party has taken over the late shows. They're nothing but Democratic Party mouthpieces, propagandists. That's all they have become. We used to look at Johnny Carson. We used to look at Jay Leno, David Letterman, and they were funny. They were entertaining. They got into politics, but they made fun of this guy. They razzed on that guy.
It was a time to wind down after
it was
a long,
a time to wind down at night and go to bed and watch it,
Yeah.
But these guys are nothing but politics and one-sided politics. Remember Stephen Colbert and the vaccine dance?
Yeah.
Who told him to do that? Fauci, the Democratic Party, who wanted to give you a shot that nobody knew what it was about. But
right.
It was a Democratic Party line, and he had to toe the line. That's why they lost 99% of their audience. They weren't funny.
No, they weren't. They weren't at all funny. It was just being lectured to.
The Bruce Springsteen that I went to go see 40 years ago, I wouldn't go see the Bruce Springsteen of today. They're two different people. The Bruce Springsteen I saw, he put in a 3-hour show and it was fun. Now he's lecturing me about this and Trump, and I paid like $500 for this.
And to listen to a 15-minute monologue. That's why I always loved Paul McCartney. He doesn't lecture you.
No.
He doesn't bring up politics.
No.
You go to a Paul McCartney show and you listen to Helter Skelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He never crossed that line. Boomer.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Xer. Snacker. Yes. Have you liked and subscribe?
Do you believe in UFOs?
Wholeheartedly. 100%. Yes, they exist.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at those satellite images or the telescope images of our universe, and you see not thousands, not millions, but billions of stars out there, you can't be the only ones.
Oh man, Arthur, this universe is so ginormous. We can't even fathom how big it is.
It's huge. So apparently there was a UFO above the ocean.
Really?
Again, these things are everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't know what they are, and we don't know what to do about them. We do not control our skies.
We do not.
Get a load of this.
A video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone, and so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
Here we go. This is the UFO right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just flying around.
Yeah, look at the speed. Boom! Bing! Bang! Boing!
But it's still going.
I know.
It's still going. Look. Here's an overhead shot. This is when it zoomed out. So you can still see it traveling.
Here's the UFO. It's still going.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, if that was a top secret aircraft, whatever pilot's inside of it is very pissed.
Uh-huh.
So, Mr. Knapp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Boomer?
Well, my father was a very religious person, very religious man. He read his Bible every night, and I'm Every night he would read his Bible right next to his nightstand. This guy, Eric Van Daniken, came out with this book, Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah.
In the late 60s, early 70s, somewhere in there. And my father bought the first copies. And he read that as religiously as he did the Bible. And he had his Bible here, and he had Chariots of the Gods right next to it. And he would read me excerpts of Chariots of the Gods. And he was always perplexed as to, this doesn't make any sense. Why are the pyramids like this? And why, look at the statues, look at the cut of this stone. This 10,000 ton stone is perfectly cut and 10 stories up in the air. How did we get it up there? He was so fascinated by all of this information that he could not explain.
Yeah.
So they exist.
Yeah, they exist. So I'm a 7-day Adventist, and I read my Bible and I pray twice a day. And I believe it's both. I believe that God created man in his image. And I think God created other beings, but the thing of it is God created man in his image. We were meant to rule over the angels, but we sinned. And all of that got thrown out the window. So I believe that some of the stuff we're seeing are angels, and I believe that, God made other beings, and maybe those beings sinned like we did.
Why not?
And why
couldn't we make other beings? What was
those
stopping us?
Right. And those beings had different stars that gave them different elements.
If God wants to tell us that he created another being, it's up to him to tell us.
And maybe for those beings with different elements, they can hover in the sky and fly around at light speed. And us, it's different because of the sun that we have to burn up stuff and shoot it out the back in order to go forward. But I want to show you. Go ahead.
Well, have you heard about the secret patent program of the United States, that if you invent something that's so revolutionary, the US government will take it and hide it? It's called the Secret Patent Government Agency, something like that. It's got thousands and thousands of patents on replacing oil and fuel and this and that the government hides from you. Have you heard about that program?
There are so many instances where someone has invented, gravitic energy,
gravity stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Those guys, they mysteriously end up slumped over their steering wheel dead.
yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy soup. But I want to introduce to you and everyone out there the very first UFO whistleblower, the legendary Bob Lazar.
Oh, Bob Lazar, yeah.
Let's listen to what Bob has to say. He was on the Joe Rogan show a few years ago.
So take me back to first day on the job. You accept a job. They take you out there.
Yeah. It's the first day, really, I didn't really get to see a whole lot. The first day was essentially just paperwork. That's when I flew into Area 51 proper. And I left McCarran Airport and flew what they call the Janet flights. Just, a passenger plane from Las Vegas to Area 51. And it was really just going through a mountain of paperwork that day, from security clearances to, it was like 2 or 3 hours of just solid paperwork. And that was really an uneventful first day.
When did things get weird? When did you realize, like, at what point in time did you say, hey, this is not normal work? Like, this doesn't even seem like it's from this planet.
This isn't normal.
I can't tell you what day that occurred on, because so much time has gone by. The days have kind of fused into one, and I can't separate the days.
Was it a slow burn, or was there a moment of recognition?
Well, the first inkling I had was when I came in. There's this facility that is at S4. It's in the side of a mountain.
Jesus.
And normally we had pulled in with the bus and gone around the front through a normal double door. This time that I went in, there were hangar doors open. I went in through the hangar door, and in the hangar door was the disc, the flying saucer that I worked on. I saw it sitting there, and we walked by it. It had a little American flag stuck on the side, and I thought, oh my God, this finally explains all the flying saucer stories. This is just an advanced fighter, and this is fucking hilarious.
Right.
So I went by, I slid my hand alongside it. I got reprimanded immediately for touching the thing.
Bob Lazar, the very first UFO whistleblower.
Yeah, well,
and now all these years, he's getting he's getting vindicated. For years people called him a liar, and now it's like, I told you so. I told you I wasn't lying.
I remember when, if you admitted to believe in UFOs, and I was alive, I was a young kid, you were vilified, you were made fun of, you were laughed at, you were called crazy. They tried to lock you up in a mental institution. Yeah, and this was in the 60s and 70s and 80s. It's only until recently, like the past 5 years, I'd say, that it's real. But it used to be, you kept quiet about this stuff. We didn't tell anybody that, oh, we're reading Eric von Daniken's Chariot of the Gods, because you were laughed at.
Yeah, it kind of pisses it.
And then he made that documentary, that movie.
Right.
Chariot of the Gods.
It's a great movie. Everybody should check out Chariots of the Gods. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off, man, because it's like the farmer, the janitor, all walks of life have said, hey, I saw this thing in the sky. You're laughed at. Then all of a sudden, an F-16 fighter pilot says, hey, I chased a UFO down, and everybody's like, hey, it's a fighter pilot. These things must be real.
Well, the term Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Where it comes from? World War II pilots who saw UFOs, and they nicknamed them Foo Fighters, because they didn't know what it was. But they saw UFOs. I think Jimmy Carter saw a UFO.
Yeah, everybody has seen a UFO. You've seen weird stuff. I've seen weird stuff. But yeah.
But the government has gone on this whole thing to debunk it. It's a weather balloon. It's this or that. It's swamp gas.
Well,
look at the X-Files. The X-Files came out in the 90s, and even then you were still, the Mulder was still laughed at.
And I don't blame, to a certain extent, I don't blame the government, because think about it. If you can control gravity, that is the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. You could grab a hold of an asteroid, depending on what size, and you can send it to Russia. You could create force fields. If he who controls this technology rules the world.
Yeah.
Bow down. I am your leader now. Oh my goodness. Before we head out, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in England.
Oh.
So apparently they had a big march in England, because right now in England, they're being invaded. They're being invaded. They can't fly their flag.
They came from Saudi Arabia.
They can't fly their flag. Their children are being raped. If they post something on social media, it's straight to jail for you.
They arrest people every day.
They arrest people, normal people, normal like
people,
little old ladies.
Yep.
Yeah. I felt so bad. There was some footage where they walked into this old guy's apartment, his flat, as the English would call it. And they're talking to him about a post, and it's just him and his dog. It's a little old man and his dog. And at the end of it, they go, well, come on, we got to take you in. And he says, well, what about my dog? Don't worry about him, mate. He should be fine. And they just took him off to jail. And look, this is the big march, and look at how their law enforcement, their bootlicking law enforcement, it's
Yes, I have
treating their old
no
brothers and
respect for the
sisters.
British police.
Get a load of this. God bless you, mates. God bless you for
I
fighting
have no
against
respect
tyranny.
for the British police. No respect. No respect for the Canadian police who shut down the damn truckers. No respect for them at all. No respect for the Australian
Hallelujah.
police who beat up people during COVID. New Zealand
Say it
police who
again.
did the same thing. And even our police here in the United States, they have to answer for what they did during COVID.
Oh yeah, grabbing a kid for going fucking surfing? You kidding me?
Did you see that?
Punching me in the face because I want to go worship my God on the Sabbath.
Shutting down churches in the United States? What cop did that? You gotta repent, man.
Shutting down our schools. How do you sleep at night?
How do you sleep at night? You know?
That shit gives me chills seeing those great, beautiful men, those English men fighting for their country.
But
God bless you.
Is it too late, Arthur? That's the whole question.
It's never too late.
Is it too
It's
late?
never too. Like, share, and subscribe. If you think it's too late, let us know. If you think it's right on time, let us know. But that's
like and share and subscribe. Subscribe. You can do it. It's right there. It's right there.
Look, man.
Right there. Right there.
I need some financial freedom. I need a brand new motorcycle. Mine's always breaking down. The old man, Viagra ain't cheap. Expensive. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know.
And blonde nurses are not cheap either.
The old man needs a blonde nurse. Please hit that subscribe button, please. All right, man. Well, let me. Oh, you know what? We can't leave them yet. There is a man, and his name is Tommy Robinson. And after what happened to Charlie Kirk, I'm so scared for Tommy Robinson.
For everybody, Megyn Kelly had to do a tour. Tim Pool just canceled his events because he couldn't afford the security.
Yeah,
these guys are coming after us.
So, Tommy Robinson is an important guy.
Oh, if they do something to him, wow!
They've stuck him in jail.
Yeah,
they've terrorized him, and the man should be knighted for saving England.
That King Charles knight him. He's going to knight a Muslim before he knights him.
Let get a load of this.
They should never, ever, ever have sent Tommy to jail. The silent majority will be silent no longer. Today, we are sending shockwaves through the corridors of power of the elite like a bloody earthquake. The silent majority will be silent.
Him and Douglas Murray, because I've been seeing Douglas Murray for a while. I remember when he came out with The Strange Death of Europe. I read the book, and he's been talking about this for a long time, and he's been there all by himself, all alone, taking all the risks. And Andy No in the United States, he's got a target on his head. They've tried to attack him, beat him up a lot. Yeah, Tim Pool was talking about this, about how everything is just so dangerous. Leftists are dangerous. Leftists are dangerous. They're revolutionaries.
Dear Lord, please protect us from the evil Democratic Party, the leftists,
and it is evil,
and the left-wing media.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, Boomer. Be good. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thanks everybody for being here, and I'll see you around.